大家好，今天是2025年的10月24日，我是阿婉。关注一下中国的一个国内通缩情况，中国人不再买买买，消费低迷难题如何解呢？那全世界的消费者都在以前所未有的规模购买中国商品，美国也不例外。尽管它的关税成本在不断的上升，那唯一例外的却是中国的国内消费者。这正是中国最高领导层面临的一个重大难题的核心所在，就是他们正试图引导疲软的经济穿越与美国的贸易战动荡。中国依赖全球消费者来维持经济的稳定。那今年中国的出口额预计将比进口额高出1万亿美元，这种巨大的贸易失衡，以及中国对出口的依赖，使得中国的处境更加复杂。所以说，这一问题也令特朗普越来越担忧。那全球各国官员正督促中国调整经济结构平衡，更多的转向国内消费。本周的话，中国高层官员召开了会议，定制未来5年的一个政策方向。他们面临着国内的若干挑战，包括青年失业、社会福利体系薄弱以及人口老龄化等问题。如果政府未能解决，但是就是政府并没有积极解决这些问题，而是采取渐进式的政策调整，然后加倍于投资于生产出口商品的工厂。那要解决这些结构性的问题，那像是说有2个孩子的母亲陈艺林就是这样的消费者摆脱困境的关键途径。那35岁的陈女士带着3岁的女儿在上海的郊区一家商场逛饰品店里时说到，她觉得经济环境比较差，所有人都很难找到工作，且找到工作的话也很容易被辞退。她的丈夫在一家金融行业工作，没有稳定职位，那目前一家主要靠积蓄生活。经济学家是将这种悲观情绪是追溯到新冠疫情以及中国当时对社会和社区和城市的一个突然封控。那原本就是大家认为说，在2022年底放松这些防控措施后，中国会像其他国家一样出现压抑已久的报复性消费热潮，但这种情况从未真正出现。因为在疫情期间，就是许多国家会向家庭发放现金补贴，那中国的政府是从未向民众发放现金。那现在的话，家庭的总体收入普遍就是低于疫情前，同时还要面对不断攀升的医疗支出。中国的企业同样也被迫自谋出路，许多公司削减了薪资，开始裁员。然后还有一个方面就是就是很多中国公民会将积蓄投入到房地产的国家。那2021年来的房价暴跌也造成了沉重的打击。这位陈女士名下有4套公寓，3套家人居住，另1套出租。但是她的租客最近也要求她降低房租，现在好多人都退租了。她说租金也不像前几年收入很高，大家都想降租。为了刺激经济，北京在2024年启动了一项以消费品以旧换新计划，鼓励人们用旧家电和汽车换购价格更实惠的新产品。那今年这项计划又扩展到了智能手机和其他电子产品。这一举动最初是带动了一波消费热潮，如今热潮正在减退。日本野村证券的首席中国经济学家陆挺担忧说，如果该计划再延长1年，可能会为那些吸引买家而大幅降价的企业造成伤害。正好有需求的话是更好。唐印在一个周五与伴侣外出购买枕头的时候说到，没有的话也不会有了这个补贴，我就特意去买。就是你要刚好有那个需求。那唐女士是在一家医疗器械公司工作，她说公司正在裁员，这让情况有点紧张。 他说他之前就是每年会花数千美元购买一些奢侈品，但现在大幅削减了开支。不过他确实有用补贴更换了一台坏掉的空调。要让消费者有信心支出，政府首先还必须要修复的是养老金体系。目前超过一半的退休人口平均每天仅能领取约$1的退休金。我认为这确实是中国消费问题的核心。如果你不想在退休后陷入贫困，那你就只能存钱。许多年来，许多失业的人，毕业后找不到工作的年轻人转而从事外卖啊、快递啊、配送工作。这种零工经济雇佣的超过2亿人，从事传统缺乏社保的工作。这些工作的福利有限，而且往往没有社会保险。那对于许多年轻人来说，当政府本身都指出养老金体系资金不足，可能很快耗尽时，很难看到储蓄的实际好处。那到目前为止，政府其实也只是做了一些很小幅的调整。上个月他修改了规定，要求所有雇主为员工缴纳福利。那今年的话，它是自1950年来首次提高了法定退休年龄。那么退休年龄就是男职工逐步延迟到63周岁退休，女职工逐步延迟到58周岁，普通女职工逐步延迟退休到55周岁。那政府也尝试向年轻的夫妇提供资金，鼓励生育。在最近的一个那就是65岁的黄伟嘉和42岁的珍妮，就是他们两人表示说，作为医生，他们的月薪约1万元，虽然略有下降，但是拥有政府的工作，相对感觉就是比较有保障。同时他们也会说，这个阶段的消费比较大，所以感觉开销特别大，存不下来。吴女士有2个10几岁的孩子，每年在孩子的课外学习上花费高达5万元。那黄女士的话，则说到他们这一代人，就是她俩的开销最大，因为她也有2个10几岁的孩子。然后开销也是跟吴女士差不多，而且还有父母年纪上来了，正是生病的时候，所以这2位觉得一边花钱一边存钱，现在感觉存不下来。那要我说的话，中国的话就怎么说呢？这个贸易的就是结构性问题，就是经济的一个结构性问题，就相当于说中国吭哧，中国工人吭哧干活，然后把中国的商品就是销往了全世界，但是自己仅获得了很微薄的一些报酬。他们甚至可能都没有交易社保，就是即便就是大家一直工作，可是到老了不一定是有退休金的，因为没有交易社保啊。那其次的话，就是我之前也在一些政策的发布的时候也提出了一些观点，就是说中国政府它在刺激消费，它要么就是发放券啊，要么就是说就是什么股市，就是它跟股市要么是发放那个消费券，比如说餐饮的满200减个50的券，还是200减100的券。然后其次的话，就是可能现在还有一些就是大额的一个电器的一个购买的券，但是如果你不是刚需，那你也用不到啊。或者说，然后我觉得这一些它都是怎么说呢？就是中国很谨慎的，我是觉得政府有很谨慎的在对待这些议题上，他不敢为什么不敢直接给民众发现金呢？他发的就比如说他发到股市或者发到消费，我觉得像这个文章中采访的这些女士，其实都已经算是家庭条件很好了，或者说经济已经相对来说很优越了。那其实真正就是中国的社会代表社会现状的，我个人认为说它不是来自这些中层。因为现在政府的补贴啊或者利好，其实更多都是中层。那除此之外，被牺牲的那一波人， 你看稀土中国也看样子生意也做得特别好，可是大家有没有想到尘肺病这些病人啊，或者说这些曾经的一个矿土开采的工人，他们的一个生活质量，他们的一个身体健康，他们的职业病，甚至都没有人，就是你的体系都支撑不到。那其实像老年的问题的话，一些好的福利国家的话，就是在对待老年人的一些议题和福利上，给政府就是承担的责任，也提供了更多的就业岗位，这何尝不容呢？所以我觉得说，如果政府愿意担起责来，那其实自家的事情也是很有的可以做的，不一定说就是说1万亿的贸易逆差，这个还是太，我觉得有点太沉重了。就是说上去很好听，我家生意做得很好，可是全都没赚钱，感觉理是这么个理。不知道你认不认同？好了，那接下去的话，我会继续开始读一下原文哦。China's consumers are in a years-long funk. Will anything get them spent? Shoppers all over the world are buying more stuff from China than ever before. Even Americans are, despite the rising cost of the tariff. The only people who aren't, it seems, are those in China. That is at the heart of a very big problem for China's top leadership as it tries to steer a weakening economy through the volatility of the trade war with the United States. China spends on the world's consumers to keep its economy steady, a point that was made clear on Monday by its latest economy update. China is on track this year to export $1 trillion more than it imports. The massive imbalance in the country's reliance on exports complicates China's position as its top leader. Xi Jinping is expected to talk with President Trump next week. It is a growing concern for Mr. Trump, and officials around the world are insisting that China rebalance its economy more towards domestic consumer spending. Top Chinese officials are meeting this week to plot the country's policies for the next 5 years. They are contending with a handful of challenges at home, including young unemployment, a stable social welfare system, and aging population. The government has failed to take on those problems aggressively. Instead, tinkering with incremental policy change and doubling down on investing in the factories that generate goods for exports. Yet tackling this issue could go a long way towards getting to the root of the problem. For consumers like the Chen Yilin, a mother of two, I think the current economic climate is too bad. Mr. Chen certifies that as a browser connects with her 3-year-old daughters at a mall on the outskirts of Shanghai. It's hard for anyone to find a job, and even if they do, they easily fire. Her husband works in finance, but does not have a permanent job. The family is dipping off saving. Economists have traced that kind of optimism to the COVID-19 pandemic and China's sudden lockdowns of neighborhoods and cities. Officials saw that the reversal of some policy at the end of the 2022 would release pent-up demand and set off a spurt of revenue spending as other countries had experienced. It's never come Unlike many national governments that handed out money to families during the pandemic, Beijing never put cash in people's pockets. Households generally have less income today than they did before the pandemic, and they are dealing with rising health care costs. Chinese companies were also left to hand to fend them for themselves, and many cut back on pay and started letting employees go. A crash in housing price that began in 2021 has also weighed heavily in a country where people sank their savings into real estate. Mr. Chen owns 4 apartments, 3 of which are occupied by her family. The other is rented out, but her tenant is asking her to lower the rent. Many people are giving up their lease, Ms. Chen said. Rents are as high as they were in previous years, so everyone's looking to lower their rents. To drive up the economy, Beijing started a consumer trade-in campaign in 2024 for people to exchange their old household appliances and cars for cheaper new ones. This year is added smartphones and other electronics that lead to bursts of spending activities, but now is warning Tin Lu, the chief China economy for Nomura, the Japanese bank, is worried that if the program is extended for another year, it could begin to hurt companies and that are slashing their price to attract buyers. If there's a need, that's great, said Tang Yin, who was shopping for a pillow with her partner on a recent Friday. But if there's no need, I wouldn't go out for my way to buy something just because of the subsidy. Ms. Tang works for a company in the medical device industry, which she said was going through layoffs. This has led a bit of tight spot, she said. Ms. Tang, who said she used to spend thousands of dollars a year on luxury items, had cut way back, though she used subsidies to repair a broken air conditioner. For the government to get consumers to feel confident to spend more, it will have to fix its pension system, which offers an average of $1 a day in retirement for more than half of China's retired population. This is really a problem that I strongly believe is at the core of China's consumption, Mr. Lu said. If you don't want to fall into poverty when you retire, then you have to save. Many people who have lost their jobs in recent years or who have graduated without employment prospects and turn to delivering food or packages. The gig economy employs more than 200 million people in jobs that have traditionally been insecure with limited benefit and often no social insurance. For many young people, it is hard to see the benefit of saving when the government itself has flagged an underfunded system that may soon run out of money. The government has so far made small fees. It changed rules last month to require all employers to contribute to benefit for employees. Last year, it raised the statutory retirement age for the first time since 1950s. The government had started funneling money to young couples to encourage them to have babies, but middle-aged women who once helped to power a consumer boom are now faced with rising costs of aging parents and their own children. On a recent weekday, Huang Weijia, 40 5 and Johnny Wu, 42, were on a break from work at a community care clinic nearby. They share a conversation and an ice cream inside a mall in the eastern city of Jiangxi. Both said that their salaries as daughters, about $1,400 a month, had decreased slightly, but they felt relatively safe because they have government jobs. My spending is higher at this stage, so it feels like the expenses are particularly high, and it feels like I can save much, said Miss Wu, who has 2 teenagers and spends as much as $7,000 a year on each of their extracurricular studies. Miss Huang claimed in referring to her generation, I think we are the biggest spenders right now. She also has 2 teenagers, and she estimated that she spent similar to what Miss Wu did on each on her children. Our parents are also getting older now, and they are getting sick more often, Miss Huang said. I used to think I could save while spending, but now I feel I can't. Thanks for listening. Hoping your life full with happiness and joy, and have a good day.